Hi, my name is Jordan Kapphahn, trainer and owner of K-Rush Fitness in Saskatoon. Today I'm going to be teaching you my top 10 favorite battle rope moves. Each battle rope exercise we'll be executing and performing today will be a 30-second duration for 3 sets before you can move on to the next exercise. For my first exercise, I'm going to be focusing on dual overhand waves. You want your weight back over the heels, drop it down nice and low, keeping the knees from falling in front of those toes. We want our shoulders down away from the ears. We want to make sure that your back is as tall as possible and we're pushing that chest out and away. As soon as we have our form ready, we're going to keep those hands on the body symmetry line. We're pushing for even waves along the length of the rope. Consistent breathing, never holding your breath. For our second movement, we're going to be following a fairly similar form as the first. Weight through the heels, dropping nice and low. But instead of dividing our waves by 50%, we're going to be pushing those hands together and moving both at once. So it's a dual wave pattern. For the third exercise, I'm going to go to a dual overhand smash. We want to add a little bit more slack on those ropes than normal, just so we can get a little bit more play and a little bit more action out of them. Again, weight back through those heels. For this one, we're not going to be consistently holding that low squat position. We're driving down into our squat, and then we're going to use those legs to propel our ropes upward. So it's down nice and low, you're pushing up, slamming those ropes down as hard as you can. For my fourth exercise, we're going to be taking it down into a lunge form. For this, it's very important that as we drop deep into our lunge, we're keeping the knee always stacked above that ankle, keeping a nice tall spine, and you're really engaging that front leg. From there, with both hands on the handle of the rope, we're going to be starting our nice wave form. We want to keep it even the entire time. Consistent breathing. You're going to step it in, keeping that head and shoulders at the same height. Step it out in your alternate lunge. For our fifth exercise, we're going to be taking into our warrior. For the warrior exercise, we're facing in one solid direction for the entire time. You want to make sure to work your body symmetry though, so we're going to go back the opposing direction after this. With both hands on that plastic handle, dropping nice and low, weight through those heels. We're going to be driving along that body symmetry line. It's like as if we're swinging a kettlebell. We're going to be taking it a little bit higher than we normally would in that regular range. So it's down, drive those hands up, right back down. Really focusing to make sure that one of your knees isn't projecting further than the other. For our sixth movement, we're going to be jumping into shaking hands with the devil. For this one, you're holding onto one rope with one of your hands. Getting nice and low. The most important thing is as we get low into that squat form, weight back on those heels, knees over top of the ankles, not projecting in front of the toes, that we keep solid form the entire time we're moving. So that other hand's coming out for stability. You want to keep your arm in front of that right knee and really squeeze that delt as you move. For the next exercise, we're going to be moving and breaking away from those vertical waves. We're moving to a horizontal wave form. For this, we're really going to be isolating out the medial delts, and because we're working with a smaller muscle group, you want to make sure that you have consistent, smooth form. You're really locking those shoulders down away from the ears and squeezing those traps as we move. Weight's going to be back down through those heels just like before. We might want to sit our stance up just a little bit higher than our low stance that we're doing with the dual overhand waves. We're going to be pushing our hands away, so those palms are going away from the body. Then you're turning like you're sculling and driving those palms right back in toward yourself to make sure you have proper muscle activation. Nice and low, pushing it out, driving it right back in. Try your best not to cross those ropes. For one of the more high cardio exercises we can be jumping into on the battle ropes, we're going to make sure that we have a lot of slack on these ropes, that we're not overstressing the shoulders. We're going to be taking it into jumping jacks. It's important that with our jumping jacks, we're only driving those hands up to that shoulder height, no higher, because we can hurt those deltoids. We're going to be holding firmly onto those handles, stepping those feet in. As we drive those arms up, of course, we're jumping those feet out, and then jumping it back in as we slap those arms back down at our sides. So it's out, right back down. If at any point they become too difficult, you can work 50-50% of the body. So you're working your right side, and then you're transferring over to that left side, stepping out the leg, driving up with the arm, and then moving at the opposing side. So you're working one delt at a time, just going to be a little bit less impact on those shoulders. Probably one of the most beneficial horizontal wave movements is the serpentine core shake. You want to make sure for this that you're keeping your elbows in, locked at the sides of your obliques. It's very, very important for those shoulders that you're locking those arms in, really squeezing against those lats, serratus, and obliques. So it's down, arms in locked at the sides. We're going to be moving those shoulders back and forth while keeping our feet firmly planted on the ground and not letting those knees transfer too far in front of the toes. We're trying to get nice solid waves back and forth evenly, and we're looking for flow as you're moving through this exercise. So it's nice and low, transferring that weight back and forth. You'll be squeezing that obliques. Thanks for your time. I'm glad I could show you my favorite battle rope exercises. Again, I'm Jordan Kapphahn, trainer and owner of Crush Fit Saskatoon. You can find me at krushfitsask.com or on Facebook at Crush Fit Sask.
This is what it feels like. Without you now, this is what it feels like.